The autumn leaves crunched underfoot as Nathan stood outside the chapel, his heart heavy with a mix of anticipation and dread. He was about to marry Sarah, the love of his life, but the ghost of his past loomed large. It had been 2 years since Emily, his ex-girlfriend, had died in a tragic car accident, and the memories of their time together haunted him like a shadow. As the wedding day approached, strange occurrences began to unfold. It started with the little things. Nathan would find Emily's old photographs in his belongings, despite having packed them away. He dismissed it as a trick of the mind, a remnant of grief that refused to fade. But then came the dreams, vivid and unsettling. In them, Emily would appear, her face twisted in anguish, pleading for him to remember her. On the eve of the wedding, Nathan decided to visit the spot where Emily had died. The air was thick with an unsettling silence, and as he stood there, he felt a chill run down his spine. The wind whispered through the trees, carrying with it a voice that seemed to call his name. Nathan, it echoed, sending shivers through him. He shook his head, trying to dispel the feeling of dread that was creeping in. And the next day, as he stood at the altar, ready to say his vows, the lights flickered ominously. A sudden gust of wind swept through the chapel, extinguishing the candles. Guests gasped, and Nathan felt a cold sweat break out on his forehead. Sarah looked at him, confusion etched on her face, but he could see the fear in her eyes. It was as if Emily was trying to make her presence known, warning him against moving forward. As the ceremony continued, Nathan's mind raced. He could feel Emily's spirit lingering, her energy palpable in the air. When it came time to exchange rings, he hesitated, his hand trembling. Suddenly, the church doors burst open, and a figure stood silhouetted against the light. It was a woman, her hair wild and her clothes tattered. Nathan's heart dropped as he recognized her. "Emily, don't do this, Nathan," she cried, her voice echoing through the chapel. "You can't leave me behind." The guests erupted in chaos, some screaming, others frozen in disbelief. Nathan felt his heart pound in his chest as he looked into Emily's eyes, filled with sorrow and desperation. He wanted to reach out to her, to tell her that he loved her, but he was torn. He had moved on, hadn't he? But the truth was, he had never truly let her go. "Emily, please," he shouted, his voice breaking. "I loved you, but I can't live in the past." As he spoke those words, the air grew thick with tension. The lights flickered again, and the temperature dropped. Emily's face twisted in pain, her form flickering like a faulty light bulb. "You think you can forget me? I won't let you." With that, the chapel shook, and a deafening roar filled the air. Nathan fell to his knees, overwhelmed by the force of her spirit. He felt the weight of his choices crashing down on him, and in that moment, he understood. Emily's death had left a void in his heart that he had tried to fill with Sarah, but it was never going to be that simple. As the chaos swirled around him, Nathan made a choice. He stood up, facing Emily's ghost. "I will always remember you, but I need to live my life. I need to let you go." With those words, a blinding light enveloped the chapel. Nathan shielded his eyes, and when he opened them again, Emily was gone. The air was still, and a profound silence settled over the room. The guests looked around, bewildered, as if waking from a nightmare. Nathan turned to Sarah, who was staring at him, her eyes wide with fear and confusion. He took her hands in his, feeling the warmth of her living presence. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I didn't mean for any of this to happen." As they stepped outside into the crisp autumn air, Nathan felt a sense of relief wash over him. He had faced his past and emerged stronger, ready to embrace the future with Sarah. But deep down, he knew that Emily's memory would always linger, a bittersweet reminder of love lost and the haunting echoes of a life that could have been.